I'm gonna see it through. You want spotless, I'll always lose. Don't want love, lover, I want the truth.
In the previous episode of Working with Mustang Toast, we mainly were just working on trying to get him accustomed to the typical routine we have at Wild Child, introducing him to his other herd members, and just spending some time with him and showing him that we really aren't a threat. From the short time that I've known Toast, there's a few things that I have learned. First off, I know he's halter broke. Secondly, I can obviously put a fly mask on him. And thirdly, he is just very, very skittish and very untrusting of humans. Right now, my main priority with Toast is going to be getting him to associate me with positive, pleasurable stimuli. I don't want him to be afraid of me. I don't want him to think I'm a threat. So for now, we're just going to leave the halter out of the equation. The first exercise I'm going to do with Toast is what's called feed and retreat. So basically, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to give Toast a reinforcer, and then I'm going to retreat. So sometimes it is more beneficial to throw the hay or the reinforcer on the ground and then retreat. However, with Toast specifically, I know that I can approach him. I know that he is halter broke. I know that he knows a few things. So I want him to start to feel comfortable with me approaching him. You'll see here that I take a step towards Toast and I'm holding my hand out with that reinforcer. You'll see right here he actually turns his body around and starts to approach me just so he can get that reinforcer. So I'm going to retreat as a way to show him that he did a wonderful job. So now not only did he get a release of pressure by me walking away, but he also received a reinforcer for walking towards me. Here I am again. I'm going to hold my hand out. He comes up right again, gets that reinforcer, and yet again I'm going to retreat. While I'm doing this exercise, I am also doing some bridge signal association. A bridge signal is basically something that connects the behavior to the reinforcer. It shows the horse that, hey, you did what I asked you to do, a reinforcer is on the way. Most commonly, you will find a clicker or a verbal cue being used as that bridge signal. When Toast gives me a behavior that I want, such as approaching and eating from my hand, I'm going to use a verbal cue as my bridge signal, and then I'm going to reinforce so that Toast can start to associate the bridge signal with the reinforcer. I'll show you again with the sound on. So notice the black horse walking away into the turnout. So far, this is one of Toast's best friends within the herd, and Toast does not like the fact that he walks away. So now he is no longer focusing on me. He's no longer paying attention and just proceeds to pace the fence line for about 5-10 minutes. I try to get his attention back on me by trying to angle my body in front of the drive line. I try to cut him off. I just try to draw him into me, and I have absolutely no luck. So eventually, I just stand back and I let him do his pacing until he is ready to either return to the session or I feel it's best to call it a day. This right here is a very clear sign that Toast is buddy sour, and so at a later date, definitely not right now, it is something we'll have to work on. I hold out a reinforcer and Toast is finally able to take his attention off of his friend and bring his focus back to me. He comes up and he grabs that reinforcer, so again I use that bridge signal and then I'm going to retreat. He does go back to pacing for about a lap or two, however he brings his focus back to me and I feel it is ready for us to move on to the next exercise. Next, my goal is to start standing more towards his shoulder and reinforcing touch. You'll see right here I go to reach out to pet him and he walks away. This right here is a sign that he sees human touch as an aversive stimulus, and I want to try and make it a positive, pleasurable stimulus, not something that he feels threatened by. You'll see here that I hold my hand out and I kind of try to make it towards his shoulder and he just walks away. He tries to avoid me. Now, he's not freaking out that I'm super close to him, but he's definitely trying to avoid me. And so right here I try to hold out that reinforcer and slowly bring my hand to his shoulder and he just turns his butt and he kind of walks away. So I'm going to take a moment, then I'm going to come back to him, try and touch that shoulder and reinforce yet again. You'll see that I'm able to touch him on the side, and so then I back up and I offer him that reinforcer. You'll notice that as I go to approach him again, I am standing sideways, because when I stand sideways, this stance is a lot less threatening than when I'm facing him head on. You'll see I'm able to go right up to him. I start scratching his body, scratching his withers, and then I'm going to offer him a reinforcer. I am reinforcing that touch so that he starts to associate me touching him and me petting him as something pleasurable and not something that's aversive. You'll see that he takes a step back, and so I am going to retreat. The biggest thing is I want to keep Toast under the threshold, right? If I notice that he's starting to get like super nervous, super spooky, or like he's just going to explode, I want to stop that from happening before it does, right? I want to make sure that he is nice and calm. I want to make sure that he is listening, because as soon as he starts entering fight, flight, or freeze mode, then he's not really learning anything. He's just trying to escape the situation. So I want him to try and remain as calm as humanly possible. You'll see here that as I go to approach him again, he does take a step to the side, and so I'm going to offer that reinforcer at the same time that I'm scratching him. So then I scratch him all over the place. I give him lots of love and attention, and you might notice that I give him several reinforcers as I'm doing this. Again, I just want him to start associating my presence and my touch with a positive experience. I don't want him to see me as a threat. To end the session, I'm going to give him one more really good scratch. I'm going to give him another reinforcer, and then I'm going to take off his fly mask, as that is what I typically do at the end of the day. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this YouTube video. Before we close off, I'd like to give you a friendly reminder that all of the content you see is funded by myself. I like to be able to provide you guys with educational content, answer your training questions, and show you all kinder ways of handling horses because I feel it is incredibly beneficial to both horses and humans. I like to offer this at absolutely no cost to you guys because the world is so expensive right now, and I truly just want to help you and your horse succeed while advocating for kinder, more humane methods within the industry. However, if you would like to help support the sanctuary horses or all of the materials and things needed to create and edit this content, I have a list of ways that you can donate. There's absolutely no obligation at all. I am not a registered nonprofit. I am an LLC who is just trying to make a living, educate others, and make a better world for the horses we all love so much. So don't forget to hit the red subscribe button. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, our podcast, and the many other things that we have to offer you guys. Stay strong, stay true, stay wild, and I'll see you all next time.